called Deception. I have since done a lot more research on that, and I think I've finally come to a better, well-rounded conclusion. So who here has read Othello or heard of Othello? Yeah? Who liked reading Othello? All right, just a couple, one. So I had to read it for my English 201, and we had to write a paper on it. And I was kind of like, I really don't know what to write. I've never been like really well versed in like Middle English, Old English, Shakespeare, stuff like that. And I'm not very good at reading it. But the more I started to look into it, I started to see a common theme in Othello, that deception is really the downfall of humanity, the downfall of any pretty much relationship that you get involved in. And as I started to look into it more and more and more, I started to do a little bit more research. I noticed that what Shakespeare was talking about was true. Shakespeare studied Geoffrey Chaucer, and Chaucer was, in a lot of his poems, said that, that greed and things like that would be the deception or the downfall of humanity. Well, in Othello, Shakespeare, being the well-witted writer he was, and studied Geoffrey Chaucer, went against what he said, saying that, deception is a downfall of humanity. Iago would go around and he would, tell Othello all these different things, set up this stuff to make, pretty much, to get in Othello's position. He would tell her, oh, your wife's cheating on you, blah, 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 make him super angry to do this one unfaithful act that would end up ending Othello. And the whole time, Iago knew what he was doing. He was deceiving Othello, deceiving him to knock him down to the lowest possible pedestal he could be on. And that reigns so true in so much of society. It happens all the time. You can look at it. It happened to Caesar. Brutus ended up deceiving him, being close to him, saying he was his friend, working on his counsel, but then stabbed him in the back. It happens. And that's why, reading in Shakespeare and doing my own research, I've come apart it that deception is the downfall of humanity. We've all had those friends where we all thought we could trust. We were like, this is our best friend. We could all be with them for a long time. You're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. But then they start to do these little things, and you're like, wait, that's not working out right. It's kind of leading me down the wrong path. Wait, hold on, why is he doing this, and I'm over here doing this, and then all of a sudden I get blamed for that. It's happened to me. It's probably happened to some of you guys. And I have even more, coming to the Citadel, have been able to, look back on my life, things I did in high school, and been like, probably wasn't the best idea. But then I look back and I look into it farther, and I'm like, wait, I'm the one that got in trouble, and I got blamed for the person that told me to do it. And it's weird because you sit there and you have those conversations, and they're like, you get those people that keep telling you, hey, it's not going to be a big deal. You can do it. Just go ahead, go do it. But then they're ones sitting on the sideline over there watching you do whatever you're doing, and you get in trouble. That's deception. In any little, big form, however you want to look at it, that's deception. And sadly, it ends up being the downfall of you, me, humanity in general. You could have the biggest, baddest guy, biggest well-known person, but you have somebody that has gotten really close to them, and they start giving them little tiny tips and tricks, but those tips and tricks are to lead them down the wrong path. And our biggest fault as humans is we do trust. And if you build enough trust with somebody, eventually, unless you can see it from the outside, things don't seem wrong until it's too late. So, that big person starts to trust this person, and starts to listen to him and start to do little things. And the biggest problem is, you may be trusting that person totally. Yes, this is a good person. They're going to lead me down a great path. But then when it's too late, you realize that they weren't. And then it's all over. Where you were at the top, you're now at the bottom because of deception. One of the biggest, worst things in humanity now. And it's all led by trust. And it's led by our blindness to sit there and be like, you know what? This doesn't seem right, because we're like, you know what? This person's a good person. I'm just going to trust them. So that's my little spiel on deception that I've done my research on and what I've seen. And I just kind of throw it out there to you guys, being, college students, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. You're sitting here and you're just like, you know what? I have a lot of good friends. I have all this different stuff. Life is going real good. But sometimes just take a step back and look and be like, maybe this isn't right, or maybe this is, right. And give yourself the time to think rather than just jumping into things. Because the last thing you want to do is being a Citadel cadet and all the great opportunities you have when you leave this place is to jump in to one little thing that you were told and you get knocked all the way down. You lose a chance of this school, you lose a chance of your future. So just take a step back, think about it, and just give it time. Thank you.